Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to 3 more quick tips for City Skylines with me, B. I'm B. You're very welcome. Now today's show is going to be focused more towards the beginner or the novice player with tips that are suited to them. If you're an experienced player, you'll almost certainly know all of these tips already, and I direct you to last week's show where we looked at 3 quick tips that are hidden in plain sight. Now today's tips will all work perfectly fine for both the PC and console versions of the game, and if you're a vanilla player they'll work perfectly fine for you too. Now we'll start off by having a look at power stations. Now when you start your first city you'll almost certainly be using the windmills, the wind turbines. And they're great, but they don't put out too much power, so you'll soon want to be upgrading to something with a bit more oomph, and that would be your coal or your oil power stations. Now the thing to consider with these is they need to have resources delivered to them, and they're going to be coming down your highway networks from outside of your city. Now what you want to do is you want to have the coal or your oil power stations quite close to your highway entrances so that your trucks don't have to find their way through the city, because last thing you want is an essential coal delivery being caught up in a huge traffic jam, your power station running out of coal, and then all the lights in your city being switched off. So having it close to the exit is pretty cool. I've got here a dedicated one-way road system to avoid traffic even more. So there you go, that's your first one, your power, have it close to the entrance of your city. Now the next one is regarding money. Now I am cheating here, I have got an unlimited money mod. That is just so that I can get on and record without having to concern myself about pacing things. This is an education show, not a, well, this is more of a do as I say show, I guess, rather than do as I do. Now money, planning ahead is quite important. Planning ahead is one thing, but getting too far ahead is another thing. Now you see all these roads, they cost quite a bit of money to put down, and you can very quickly run out of money just by building roads from the off. But this tip isn't so much about road layouts. Like here I'm going to extend this road network a little bit because, well, we need a slightly bigger neighbourhood than this, and it's fine, you can build to a certain degree. But the other thing you need to consider is services. Now services are expensive, they're expensive to upkeep and they're expensive to put in place as well. Let me have a look at this city when it's like a little bit fleshed out. There we go, people are moving in now, lovely. So yes, all these people are quite happy. In fact, most of these buildings are empty at the moment while people are waiting to move in. Empty buildings don't really need our police service, do they? And they don't require schooling, and people are now moving in, and it'll be a while before anybody even complains about there being a garbage build-up. All of these things, all of these services, you can hold back on providing until people start moaning about them. There's our first complaint about crime going on there. We'll just speed the game up into super fast speed here. You can see it's quite some time before people start whinging and griping. So save yourself some money and don't put in any services until people start moaning about them. If you have Chirper in the top of the screen, Chirper will soon tell you, oh, all these people moaning about things smelling bad. And it's not me, I promise you it's not me. Well, it was once, but I've moved on. Anyways, next one is about electricity, and this is a fairly obvious one, but so many people have pointed this out to me as being a quick tip, so I thought I'd share this one with you. And it's about power spread. Make sure when you're building a city, when you zone areas, that the power can get to all of the areas that you are zoning to. Now you saw that I've zoned in 3 separate sections here, but they're not building in a convenient order for me, which means that the people down here are going to get absolutely no power to them until people start moving into the middle zone, which they do fairly soon, but until then it's just a little bit dark at this end of the neighbourhood. Anyway, that's it. That's your 3 quick tips for today. There'll be another 3 quick tips coming along next week. There'll be more moderate skill levels, so join me for those. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit like as well. I've been B. You've been very welcome, and I'll see you very soon.